Hello again, and welcome back to Illegally Cited. This is Jesse, and I am back for a little bonus video yet again. A lot of these late this month, but I figured everyone, especially if you live in an area like I do, it is freaking cold outside, or it's icy, or it's snowy, or it's just, cold and wintry and terrible in general. So, hey, why not stay inside, play some video games, watch some YouTube and stuff. So I knew that I was going to be doing one other video toward the end of this month because we had a couple of events today, and there's a couple other quick things I want to talk about. So before I do that, I'm not going to go through the whole channel update thing because we just did that like twice this month already. But again, thank you to everybody who has been supporting the channel. It is very much appreciated. We are in Minecraft. I'm thinking of the presentation already. We're in Power Wash Simulator, but we're just going to wander around this little level right now. I've mostly got it cleaned. There's a few other little things I have to find to finish it off, but we are in this golf course level. It's kind of got this really neat medieval theme to it, and this is one of the bonus levels or extra levels that they put in toward the end of the 1.0 development. So the one of the reasons that I do this, and you may not even hear it because the volume is set really low right now. Um, I don't know what it is with my new headset. I love it. Don't get me wrong. Like this headset is just so far it's working out really well. But the problem is I was trying to record a video the other day where I was just, I had it on the YouTube channel like I usually do for updates and such. And the headset is supposed to not shut off. Remember, this is a wireless headset, so it's not supposed to shut off automatically if there is any audio running or if it detects something from your microphone. And interestingly, I had done that channel update video last weekend, I think, and it worked fine. I didn't think about it. But then when I tried to do another video, and I'd get like 5-10 minutes in, and or I don't remember how long, but maybe 10-15 tops, and the headset would just turn off. I'm like, well, shoot, that sucks. Um, and it wasn't like I was talking into it. I was using OBS, so there's no reason that it should have shut off because I was using the microphone. And when I played back the video that it did record, it did, there was my speaking, their audio worked, so I don't know, it just still shut off. So what I found is if I'm running a game or anything audio in the background, even if it's at a super low level, as long as there's audio, it seems to be okay and it won't shut off. So, maybe even if I load something on the web page and we just look at that in the future, I may do some of these channel updates in a game going forward, or I might just find some sort of like nature ambient thing. We'll just pretend that it isn't, 20 degrees outside, and maybe it's nice outside and we hear birds chirping and nature, or something like that. So it just might be one of those things unless I can figure out why or my headset stops dinking around, where it won't turn off when I am using the microphone and there's nothing, no actual audio coming out of the headset. So I just wanted to give you the going forward disclaimer on that. So yeah, we are in this cool little medieval thing. We've got some knights stuff. We got our little sleeping dragon over here, and we got all kinds of stuff. So this is our golf course. But what I want to talk about today is we had a couple of events that happened, and I caught up on them really quickly. But even before that, man, there's just some really good news happening. Um, there's a couple games that I am tentatively wanting to play. Forspoken is a PS5 and PC exclusive. I played the demo of it late last month and I rather enjoyed it. Like the traversal, you can zip around the environment pretty quickly. It's got fun combat. Um, I don't know. I mean, it just seemed like a pretty decent open world game. But there's been a lot of, and it's really annoying because I think this game is getting a lot more hate than it deserves. Yes, I'm sure the game has flaws. I'm sure there are things that could be improved. Um, but even just what I played in the demo, like the gameplay itself seems solid. And it's funny because even what people in the reviews that I've seen, people are fine with like the gameplay. Yeah, okay, there's repetitive open world tasks. Well, let me know if you've heard that one before. That's pretty much any open world game there is for the most part. But they were fine with the gameplay, but everyone seems to be just hating on this main character's dialogue. You know, you play this, I don't know, teenage or young 20s African American woman, and that's another thing people are playing. Oh, if you hate this, then you're racist. I mean, it's just really, guys, can we stop the binary thing of like, oh, either you have to love this or you have to hate this. Like, people are, like I said the other day, and I'm glad I kind of deleted the tweet I was gonna send because I'm just getting so damn sick of like again, I like to stick up for people. I like to advocate, of course I do. But this woke cancel culture, like we have to be looking on always on the lookout for something to be offended about. It's driving me nuts. Um, canceling M&Ms, really? The M&M characters because for whatever reason, that's what we're going to spend our time doing. Okay, sure, whatever. But for Spoken, like I said, based on like the gameplay and everything, like is it a game I'm kind of tempted to buy it, but I don't, based on what I've played and what I hear other people saying about the gameplay, I think this is one where if I give it not too terribly long, even if it goes down partially on sale, 30, 50% or something, I could pick it up on Steam or on the PS5 or something, probably on sale fairly quickly, especially with all this stupid hate that it seems to be getting. But it seems like it's a game that's totally worth playing. But do I want to spend $70 for it? Because it is a full price $70 game. And I was looking at they have basically a deluxe edition, which has a couple of DLC packs that are coming this summer, kind of prequel story DLC packs. And so that's cool. Like, okay, we're getting more actual gameplay, so that might be worth investing in. But do I want to spend $95? Not sure. I mean, yes, I could. I could afford to do it. That's not a problem. Um, but knowing that it's probably going to be on sale pretty quickly, I might wait. And especially there's so many other things that I want to play that are coming out right now anyway. So I will probably cover Forspoken at some point in the future. I do kind of want to play it, and I think people are overreacting to the dialogue. Yeah, some of it a little cheesy or cringy. Yeah, but nothing more than, like I said, I've heard worse dialogue on TV shows or other games. Like it's not like Kane and Lynch or what was that, Rogue Warrior bad. I mean, good lord. I did a video on Rogue Warrior. Whew, you got to look that gem up. That was an interesting game. Um, but yeah, so there's that. There's Dead Space, the remake that's coming out on Friday, and I want to know if they're like. I really wish. This is the thing that sort of sucks. They're hyping up the game, and I think there might be a few accessibility features in there, but I really don't know what they are. Um, and it would be nice to know if there's any sort of like even visual or audible navigation assist, like a line that you can follow or something. Are any of the menus narrated? Because again, we're starting to see so many games that have these types of things that I kind of want to know if they have them now because you know subtitles have just almost become, maybe some games are better than others, of course, but at least some degree of subtitles are pretty much expected to be there. And I'm really just waiting for the day that menu narration can be the same thing, because even as a low vision, someone who plays games visually largely, that is extremely helpful to me. And if they insist on keeping on using tiny text, then yeah. Narration is especially useful. But I played the original Dead Space. I haven't covered it on the channel, um, but I enjoyed what I played of it. I got to a boss that I got stuck on, and I kind of just quit. But I do want to play it. I'm debating whether I want to pick it up. I'm kind of hoping that reviews come a little early, or if I hear something about accessibility, I might jump on it. Especially with my nice handy dandy new computer right here, I'll be able to play that sucker really no problem. Then this morning we got a couple of other announcements. GoldenEye, remember I talked about that last year sometime. Both Microsoft and Nintendo had announced different versions of the GoldenEye N64 game. So the Switch is getting the original with online and split screen play, and that is coming out on the 27th. So that's Friday as well. I'm looking forward to trying that out. And if you have a Nintendo Switch online subscription, I believe that you're going to get it with that. So I will be able to play that, no problem. The Xbox is seeming to get unfortunately, it doesn't have online in it, but you can play solo or the campaign or a split screen. And it's like a remaster. Remember when I covered that leaked kind of early hacked version of the GoldenEye that was released? It was supposed to be that Xbox Live Arcade version, and it played really well. Like, it looked good, it played well. We're getting something like that also on the 27th, so we're going to get a couple of GoldenEye games, and that'll be great. Really looking forward to that. Seeing what both of those are going to be like. I mean, hey man, like GoldenEye in portable form, who would have thought, man? I mean, before you had to have a home console and all these things we're getting to have in handheld form now. And unfortunately, the Xbox version of GoldenEye, it's on Game Pass, and if you have the Rare Replay collection, you also get it through there because it's going to be a part of that. But to my knowledge, it is not coming to PC. So, like, if you wanted PC Game Pass or something, again, that's where Xbox really needs to be a little bit more clear. And, because you have Xbox Game Pass, but then you have Xbox Game Pass for PC, and not everything makes it to the PC, and it's confusing and kind of frustrating. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And then earlier, this week or late last week, we found out that Dread Templar, I believe I've covered the early access version of the game. I may have even covered it in really early access when it was the Hell Hunt demo. And I was impressed with the Hell Hunt, like when it was even back then. Like I had fun with it. And then when they renamed it to Dread Templar, that is coming out, I want to say tomorrow, so not even Friday, but we're going to get that on Thursday. Retro first-person shooter, but it looks really fun. Like I said, what I've played of it, I've liked. It's going to be version 1.0. We're basically getting 5 episodes of content. And from what I've heard so far, the soundtrack just completely kicks ass. I mean, if you like metal and variations on that, I mean, they put like other instruments with it and everything. But like from what I've played of it and what I've heard in a couple of other people who have covered the recent, I've seen a couple early reviews and from some first-person shooter channels that I follow, and it's looking pretty great. So looking forward to playing that as well, Dread Templar. I'm sure I'll cover that at some point, the full version on the channel. Now we get into the 2 events. I'll start with the accessibility event. So we had the Game Award, the Game Accessibility Awards. And I'm not going to go through every category because I want to encourage people to go check it out for themselves and see who won. But a couple of highlights. I mean, of course, God of War got a couple of nominations. The Last of Us Part 1 definitely got a couple of awards, not nominations. They were all nominated, but they won some awards. I believe The Last of Us, from what I remember, they did the most improved is one of the awards they got because you went from the original that had no accessibility features in it when it came out on the PS3 and PS4, and then everyone was bitching last year about oh, it's why are you remaking it again and it's not worth anything and blah 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 blah. Shut up, you know. For people who weren't able to play the original and having been able to play the sequel, now we can play the full story. No, accessibility is totally legit. It's totally huge, and it was totally worth it in my opinion. Um, so yeah, they got the most improved, and they got the I think the basically the most dedicated studio to accessibility. Um, which yeah, I mean totally. I mean they have basically set so many industry standards right now. It's just stupid. Like I mean, there's the amount of accessibility that is in that game, those two games alone. I mean, and then you got Sony's first party. I know Sony first party won some, Sony of America, um, or Sony Entertainment or whatever. They won some, but then again, not discounting the indie games, there were some games that I was really surprised, like um, the new Monkey Island game. Just Dance got an award for representation of people with disabilities that are in the game. Let's see what else. I'm trying to just think off the top of my head. I mean, they had some great indie games covered. And then they had for a little. I like what they did for ads because they were still tied into accessibility. Like they covered services that offered, companies that offered services for accessible gaming. And then they had the developer, again, I can't think of the name right off the top of my head. I apologize. I've covered their Stories of Blossom game last year, the demo. It's not out yet, but it's coming out this year. It's this really cool little artsy, like it's like a hand drawn, almost like a drawing or coloring book art style. And the game is sure it's geared toward younger kids, but what they're doing with all kinds of accessibility features is fantastic. And so, I mean, yeah, I'm going to support the developers, and hell, I don't care. I'll embrace my inner little kid. I'll play it, and I will cover the full game and just show off the accessibility. Absolutely. So they did those types of things. I mean, I thought, and they did a good job of getting people from the community. You had people with disabilities. You had people that worked in the game industry. Steve Saylor and Tara were hosting it. Some of it was a little bit goofy or over the top in the presentation. I didn't care for that quite as much. But overall, I thought everyone did a really nice job, and they had a really good, diverse group of people presenting the awards and different things. So yeah, it was a cool accessibility event. Go ahead and check that out. I'm sure you'll see it all if you follow anything game accessibility on social media, YouTube, Twitter. People are going to be talking and congratulating people all day today, and well deserved. Again, what I will say is congratulations to everybody involved, all the big teams, small teams, individual developers, publishers that are allowing this to happen. Just congratulations to everybody on making uh, gaming more accessible. So that was a cool event. I watched that over my lunch break. It was a little delayed, but I got to watch it close to live. And then we had the Microsoft Direct, essentially. And I was not able to watch that live because I had a work meeting much of the afternoon. So I was not able to watch that live. But as soon as my meeting was over and I took care of a few other things, I did check it out. And I gotta say, yes, they said going in, temper your expectations. We're not going to be covering loads and loads of games here and throughout the end of the year. But they focused on about 5 or 6 games, and what we saw, I was pretty happy with. I mean, if we continue to get more good announcements and concrete release dates at E3 this year, or maybe even a separate event, I don't know, this spring or whatever, it'd be great. But they started with Minecraft Legends, which is this, I don't know what you would call it, like almost like a League of Legends type of game where you're combining like player versus player PvP combat, you're building bases, you're exploring, gathering resources. Um, I'm not super into those types of games, but especially with what Minecraft Dungeons did for accessibility and what they're working on with Minecraft in general. I don't know if this is going to be a blind accessible game or what sort of accessibility features are going to have in it, but you know what? Especially since it'll likely be on Game Pass, I'll probably give it a chance. I'll give it a shot. It's not like I said, it's not typically the type of game that I usually play, um, but especially if they work on some accessibility, I will probably give it a peek. Um, that is coming out April. I forget the exact date. It's in April though. I'm pretty sure. I think it was April. So we got a release. I know we got a release date for it. Um, then they went into Forza Motorsport. They're basically just rebooting the series. It is not the open world Horizon games, which I like the Horizon games. But like I said, honestly, whether it's driving, melee combat, gun combat, I'm kind of burnt out on open worlds, in a large way. So, especially if, Forza is going to be on Game Pass. And so, like, yeah, I will try it because a closed circuit racing game where you're just racing on tracks. And again, with what they, I would think that this might be a better version to really solidify blind accessibility because, Forza Horizon, you're looking at open worlds and, you've got on-road, off-road, dirt tracks, pavement. You've got all kinds of stuff. You've got objectives that are off the track, like, oh, find a car or find this thing off in the open world, find this location. But in Forza Motorsport, again, these are closed circuit tracks that you are racing, so you're doing laps, and I would think this would be a lot easier to figure out the mechanics so that you're not just hitting the acceleration button and then it clings to the track like in Horizon there. Maybe you're given a little bit more haptic or audio cues, and so a blind person can actually freely drive the track more. Yeah, you might do it with some assist, but I mean, I'm sighted and partially sighted, and I use assist because I suck at simulation driving. So yeah, I mean, if I can have maybe a little bit of brake assists or certain things, but I'm still more in control of the car than just holding down the accelerator and following a line. This is the game where I think I really hope that they are tackling that so that when and if they do another open world game, which I'm sure they will at some point, I'm hoping that then that can carry over. But I think this is the good chance for them to try it. So let's hope they do. Let's hope they iron out their text to speech for their menus, and you don't need a navigation system because again they're not open world, so we don't need Anna or whatever their nav assist is going to be. It's just like a track type of thing. So yeah, I mean Forza Motorsport, that is going to be. They didn't give a release date other than 2023. So if I had to suspect, I would guess either like an August-ish type thing or this fall. I could see that being a fairly big fall game. That's traditionally what it's been, but I could see it being like a late summer or a fall type game. So yeah, Forza Motorsport. I'll definitely check it out. I mean, it's got, would they say 20 environments or 20 tracks? Or I can't even remember, like 500 plus cars to start with. You're going to have dynamic day, night, and weather systems, which will be cool. I like that. They did show some gameplay, some third person, first person, camera views. And I mean, come on, it's a Forza game. It's going to look good. It's going to sound good. So yeah, not much to say about that. Just really, really, really hoping that they do improve and really make it a blind accessible game because Microsoft needs those. Then we got a real surprise. Now, I did hear partially this leaked a little bit. There's one called Hi-Fi Rush. And I didn't really I didn't really see what it looked like. I just heard a leak that said, oh, they're probably going to announce this game. No idea what it was. but it looks really kind of neat. It's a rhythm third-person action game, so you don't have to do it. Basically, they said you're not punished if you don't do everything on the beat, but you're rewarded if you do. So everything from like enemy behavior to the way you do combat to platforming, everything that you do is tied into the rhythm, and it's got this sort of rock theme type of deal, which I'm really all into. I'm all about that. It's got a really neat, like a cell shaded kind of a cartoony look, but it looks really, really sharp. It kind of gave me some like Jet Grind Radio vibes in a way. Um, I can't remember the name of this stupid game, and I forgot to look it up. There's a game that launched right around the Xbox One. I think it might have even been a launch game. Um, what the heck was it called? I mean, it was. I didn't do a video because I didn't think I had a way to capture it at the time. It was an open world action game, and it was really, especially once you got into the game a bit, it was really focused on like traversal and just fast navigation. You could like bounce off of things in the environment when you jumped off of them, and it was just really. I can't remember the name of the stupid game. I would notice right away if I heard it. But it was an Xbox exclusive. I think it made it to the PC at some point. And I should really go back and look at that again because I never got super into it. Um, I was having a little bit of trouble with some visual stuff in there. But I liked what it was going for, and I kind of got some vibes with that. There, like I said, there's a big focus on combat, but then they showed some platforming sections. There was like dodging laser stuff and jumping up platforms and all kinds of stuff like that. So, um, Hi-Fi Rush. Now, that's part of the surprise, but the bigger surprise to me is that it's out today. It might not be out as I'm recording this, but they said a few hours after their presentation, it would be out this evening, and not a demo, the full game, and it's on Game Pass and I think they specifically mentioned Xbox and PC Game Pass. So I can download this sucker and try it this weekend if I want to, and I will download it because it looks neat. So yeah, Hi-Fi Rush. That was a pleasant surprise, especially the release date. I did not see that coming. I thought, oh, maybe February, they'll sneak a quick one in here or something, but nope. It's available today, apparently. So yeah, that was cool. And I gotta pause for a second. I gotta switch to my notepad window here because I'm trying to remember. Oh, right. The Elder Scrolls Online, they had a presentation, a big old presentation after the Direct, which I didn't watch. They had like I don't know, 3 to 5 minute piece of it on the Direct, but it's a game that I'm kind of curious about. I mean, I loved Oblivion, the Elder Scrolls Oblivion, and I played a lot of Skyrim until my computer crapped itself or something, and I had to quit, and then I lost my save file. Didn't like it quite as much as Oblivion. That was the one I really fell hard for. But Elder Scrolls Online, you can play a lot of stuff solo, and apparently you can, but you don't have to pay a monthly fee. And they said it's on Game Pass right now, and for a limited time that they ended the presentation with, or the part of that presentation with, oh, all of these other DLC packs, like where you're exploring different regions of Tamriel or whatever, they're making them you can play them for a limited time, all for free, so people can check those out, and then if they want to buy the expansions or whatever, they can for the different zones. But there's a bunch of them, it looked like. So if I get time, I might just have to at least try it to see. I mean, like I said, there's no harm in trying the game for free. I don't know if it has any accessibility features. I suspect there's no text to speech. I suspect there's nothing more than like the compass for basic navigation, so no nav assist or anything like that. But it is what it is. But I would like to see if it's something that I could get into, because we're not going to get the next Elder Scrolls, true single player Elder Scrolls game for quite a while. I mean, theoretically, hopefully we're going to see Starfield. They did say that they're going to have a separate keynote, probably this spring sometime, specifically for the game that I just said that I forgot the name of, Starfield. So yeah, there is that. Once that's done, then they'll work on whatever's next, which is more than likely the Elder Scrolls game. But again, if that comes out this year, then Elder Scroll, the true Elder Scrolls sequel, that we're at least probably 3 years out from that. Who knows? So I can't really say much more about it. If you're into Elder Scrolls, you'll probably love it. It's coming out on, I believe, May 2nd, they said. So, it's not too much longer to wait. We got a release date for more content for that. And then they ended it with Redfall. That is coming. No, that was the one. Was that the one that was May 2nd? That was the one that was May 2nd. Oh, yeah. Because Elder Scrolls, that was in June. Elder Scrolls was in June. I apologize. Elder Scrolls was June something. And then, yeah, May 2nd was Redfall. Now, this is probably the most intriguing one to me. You can play it solo or co-op with up to 4 players. It is a first-person shooter. It's Arcane, so the guys that did like the Dishonored games, the one that I really got to try again now that I have a better computer to play it. The one that came out in, I think it was late 2021, where you go back in time. You keep going back over. You go back in time. I'm just having trouble thinking of names of games this afternoon, and my brain is fried. Oh, Deathloop. There we go. So, I'm very intrigued about what this game is going to be, but they were showing some direct gameplay, and it looks really cool. Like you choose your character. Each one of them's got different skills and abilities. You've got skill trees. You're fighting vampires. Like one guy had a cloaking ability. One lady had this like umbrella type thing where they could launch people into the air and then like deflect bullets and stuff. There was one lady that had like a drone thing that you'd like a robot drone that would distract enemies. It just looks really neat. Like it just looks like a fun. I think it's at least semi-open world because they said, oh, it's like there's main quests, but then you take over like different regions, and each one is guarded by, a boss vampire type of thing. So kind of breaking it down into regions, maybe something like Crackdown or something like that. But I think it looks fun. I am definitely all about trying that game. So at least we've gotten like 4 or 5 release dates for Microsoft exclusives. Because let's see, we got Forza, ESO. I think that's Microsoft exclusive. Hi-Fi is exclusive, I'm pretty sure. Minecraft is, or the Minecraft Legends is, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, I mean, we got some exclusives. We got a good variety. We've got action and racing and rhythm and third person, first person, cartoony, more mature. So yeah, I mean, for what we got, I'm okay with it. And I hope I really want to see some extended coverage of Starfield because I have a PC that's all geared up and ready to go for it now. And I'm curious what their next open world game is going to be, since it's not a Fallout game and it's not Elder Scrolls. It's something totally different and in space and planets and all kinds of stuff. And then what are we getting for the second half of the year? There's tons of titles that they've announced, or like I said, companies that they bought that we don't know when their stuff is coming out. You know, we've got a Fable, we've got GoldenEye, or not GoldenEye, we've got Fable, we've got Perfect Dark, we've got any number of different things. So, you know, who knows? But if they can keep the momentum going, Microsoft might actually have a good year for a change. I mean, like I said, it's been a little slim pickings the last couple of years, especially I'd say the last year. Couple good titles, but definitely hoping for some good ones this year, because again, I want Sony to have competition. You know, it just makes everything better if we have more cool games to play. And again, I'm really hoping. Like, it was funny because the Game Accessibility Awards today, Microsoft won a lot of awards for stuff that they've done, like especially their Game Accessibility Fundamentals course, which anyone can go take for free. I took it last fall sometime, and I got to put that on my LinkedIn profile. I forgot. I got to do that. But I got to remember when I did. But it's a nice introductory course that you can take that covers a lot of different basic aspects of game accessibility, and it's for anyone looking to get into anything related to game accessibility in the industry. Be you know, an advocate, a consultant, a developer, publisher, whatever your role is, it's a great place to start. But like I said, Microsoft won so many awards for stuff, but at the same time, you know, they don't have those giant games that Sony has. I mean, like I said, As Dusk Falls is awesome. They were nominated for several awards, but they really didn't. Unfortunately, they didn't win any of them. I was rooting for them. But yeah, I want to see Microsoft have more marquee titles, just like Sony. Like, you know, like I said, Forza is a good. To me, that's one where they could really make a dent. If they had a mainstream, you know, just one of the main racing games out there that was accessible, that could be great. But we will see. We'll see what they have, and we'll see what they do for accessibility. I'm hoping for the best. So that is where we are going to wrap it up. We do have another bonus video coming tomorrow. I probably should have spaced that out maybe for next week, because I forgot about this bonus video that I was going to have to record. But Superliminal, it's a really neat first-person puzzle game that plays with like size and perspective, and it's a short game, but it's really neat. I would definitely recommend watching that. Part 1 came out on yesterday, on Tuesday, and I'm going to release the second and final part tomorrow. So you're getting a lot of videos from me this week. The regularly scheduled 3 videos, this bonus video, which I'm just going to upload it and chuck it out there for you. So you'll have that today. And I did an accessible iOS game earlier today, so you have that. You'll have this video, you'll have tomorrow's video, and then Saturday I haven't decided what I'm going to release yet. But yeah, we got lots of stuff to come. And we'll wrap it up here. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Give it a like if you did. Follow me on Twitter at BGFH79, twitch.tv/illegally-cited, illegally-cited.com, and right here on YouTube. Until next time, I will chat with everybody again later.